it's time to look over my shoulder. We are getting ready to do our Fired Up Friday, and you are welcome to join us. Please do. Okay, so our Fired Up Friday today, folks, is going to be all about birch. Yes, indeed. On this table you see before me here now is a pile of birch junks, some birch rind or birch bark, okay, sitting right there. That's what we're going to use as our kindling to get this fire going. We are going to use these little hatchets here on the side. Those little hatchets are going to help us turn these larger chunks of birch into small kindling to help get the fires going. And then we'll have some larger pieces toward the end. We have our matches here and we have some lighters here. That's going to be our fire source to get the fire lit and going. As I said, we're going to be using the birch bark or the birch rind as our kindling, as our paver kind of thing to get the fire started. We're going to turn some of these larger chunks of birch into smaller kindling using these hatchets. And of course, at the ready is our 2 fire extinguishers and our squirter bottle full of water, just in case our fire decides to go south. I don't expect it will, but it just might. Here's the old Enterprise wood stove that we're going to be lighting today. Our Fired Up Friday today, and of course, as always, it's a dedication fire. So stay tuned for that. We will reveal who we will be dedicating our fire to toward the end of the video. Okay, so our first job is to remove some of the birch bark or birch rind from this larger piece right here. And it's a very simple process, folks. You just got to just peel it off, as I'm doing right here now. A very easy process indeed, as I said. And it's almost like a paper, really, birch bark is, right? So it's going to be easy to get this to light once we get everything all organized for our fire. Now, I got a nice little pile going there of birch bark. So that's going to be used, as I said, to get the fire ignited or lit in the beginning. Now, those larger pieces back there, I'm going to have to use my hatchet, as I said, to clave them up into smaller pieces, and I'm going to do that next. Okay, it was a very easy task, folks. I was able to take this larger chunk right here and turn it into 3 smaller ones. I'm going to keep at it and get it into some very smaller ones now, and then cut it into little tinier pieces. So you can stay tuned for that. So using my little hatchet here, folks, I was able to take one of those large chunks of birch and make some kindling here. I'm going to use that, of course, to go along with the birch bark or the birch rind that I have there on the table. And we are very close now to starting this Fire It Up Friday in this old Enterprise wood stove. Okay, I've been a little bit busy here, folks. Got my kindling all done. Got my larger pieces here, well, smaller pieces really, because they were large in the beginning, and I claved them into smaller pieces. These were larger pieces of birch wood that I claved in half and then in thirds and quarters, that kind of thing. So I've got them all into smaller, manageable pieces now to put inside this old Enterprise wood stove. I've got my kindling, and of course, I've got my supply of birch rind or bark here that I'm going to put in toward the beginning to try to get this fire ignited. Okay, so in this next step, we're going to take some of this birch rind or birch bark, and we're just going to put it inside the firebox of this whole stove. Put it down toward the base there. Come back and get some more and put that in as well. And again, remember what I said. This is everything birch. We're not using anything other than birch. We're using the birch rind as our igniter, as our starter, as our tinder probably. And then we got some kindling that we made from birch, and it's sitting right there in the oven door. And we have some larger pieces of birch that I claved from some even larger pieces. So we've got our birch rind put in the firebox now. So I'm going to take some of these smaller pieces of kindling here from the pile that I just made, folks. I just made this kindling only a few minutes ago. And I'm going to put that in there, and we're soon going to try to get this fire started. And remember again, this is a dedication fire. Who are we dedicating our fire to today? Stay tuned, and we will reveal. Okay, putting in a little bit more there now. I think we got enough there now. Now, I've got to try to light my large match and get that fire going. So I think, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one of these Bic lighters to start the match. So I got a Bic lighter here. I'm going to use this to start the match, and then I'm going to use the match to reach down into the firebox here to get this fire going. So pay attention and follow along. Okay, so here we go. The match is lit. Let's use this match now to start the birch rind. And it's not taking very long at all, is it? Lighting that birch rind. Okay, lighting it in 3 or 4 places. Now, let's throw the match in there. We are listening for the crackling of the wood. Here we go. Starting to crackle. Let's put some more of this kindling in. Do you hear the crackling, folks? I most certainly do. Okay, so everything birch. We did not use another wood source, we didn't use no cardboard, we didn't use any paper towels, we didn't use anything, all birch. So everything birch in our fire today. So let that go. Now we've still got lots there, so we'll keep adding some more kindling and some of that larger wood to the fire very, very soon. Remember, as I said, this is a dedication fire, and we will reveal, once this fire is going nice and strong, who we are dedicating our fire to today. So stay tuned. Take off the cover to this old-fashioned Enterprise wood cook range and see how our fire is doing. Oh, we got a nice licking fire there. Let's put in some of these larger pieces of birch now. Okay, there's 1. Here's 2. And maybe I'll get a 3rd one in there. Let's do that. Let's see if I can get 3 pieces of birch in this fire. This Fired Up Friday today is everything birch. We did not use any other source. We used the birch rind or birch bark to get the fire going in the beginning. We took a large piece of birch that I had lying around, and we cut it up into smaller pieces or kindling or tinder, and we used that once the birch bark was going. And then we got some of these larger pieces here that I'm now slowly putting into the fire to keep it going. And I'm going to stay here and tend to this fire for the next couple of hours or so. You should never ever leave a fire unattended, folks. That is a very dangerous thing to do, to leave a wood burning fire. Stay close to your fire at all times. And always, always have at the ready fire extinguishers and a water source, just in case your fire decides to go south, okay? So make sure that's important. Now, let's talk about our dedication today. You will remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about mental health here at this old stove. And mental health really does matter, as the sign says. It mattered 2 weeks ago, and it matters every day. So keep that in mind. Today, we are dedicating our Fired Up Friday to veterans. Yes, we have a lot of veterans in our country, Canada, and there's a lot of veterans in our neighboring country, the United States. And today, we are acknowledging them, and we are dedicating our fire to veterans. So, veterans, wherever you are, know that this fire that we've lit today in this old-fashioned Enterprise stove was lit for you. So, to veterans, wherever you are in the world, we thank you so very, very much for your service and for your sacrifice. This video, this fire dedication, is for veterans all around the world. Thank you, and God bless.